Hi subscribers, how you guys doing today? Well look, you might want to hold on to your horses because this is the beginning of the book, A Demon Surrounded by Angels. Now, I will warn you guys, there's going to be a lot of things that you'll hear in this book that will be disturbing, things that will shape, move, and bring a whole lot of enlightenment to your emotions, dealing with different situations involving narcissism. All of these accounts are 100% truthful. This is the day I have waited for, ladies and gentlemen, to be able to tell you guys my story of how I've become who I am today. Okay? Now, being that this is an audiobook, but it's a visual audiobook. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I will be here every step of the way. You guys will be able to see me. I went out and brought me a drink today because I'm going to tell y'all something. I don't know if you guys drink or not, but it takes a drink to get out all of the things that I'm getting ready to tell you guys about my life story, okay? This is the first book. I'm not really sure if there will be a sequel. I know that I will be talking really quick, okay? So for a lot of you guys, just keep up with me. You know what I'm saying? Because I have a lot to say, and I don't know. I know you can at least have up to an hour of YouTube video or whatever like that, but I don't want to, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to bore you guys. I want you guys to listen to this account for those of you that can. And I want to get it all out. And it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? I've told this story several times to many people. And it's like, you know, I be trying to get to the fact of what I'm dealing with. But it's hard because you have to break it down and let them know, okay, this is what happened. This is how I met this person. This is what happened. That person went with that person. You know what I'm saying? So you guys will actually have this account. And one thing I love about YouTube is when we put videos out, ladies and gentlemen, these things are put, it's like a record. It's like a record. Like a record, that it's like YouTube keep everything like a record. It's kept in the file cabinet. So you guys will always be able to revert back to this. A lot of you guys have went through similar situations. You'll know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about it, how I talk about it, how I break it down. But I got to get it out to you guys. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and go to my freezer and grab my beer, grab my chair, grab my ashtray. I'll be right back. Okay, we got the chair. And it's hot today, you guys. It's really hot. We got the beer. And we got the tobacco, honey, because we're going to need it. Well, I'm going to need it. Okay, you guys. There's 12 chapters to this book. Let's make sure everything's straight. Sometimes I have pauses, but it's just because I'm trying to stay focused, or I'm just trying to make sure that you guys receive this message accurately, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, this is chapter 1. It's titled The Origins of Avias, okay? We're going to talk about me. I'm going to let you guys know everything about me, okay? Okay. I was born in a small city in Florida. My mother raised me along with 2 other siblings as a single parent. Okay. I grew up in a decent neighborhood, a historic neighborhood. I actually live in that same neighborhood to this day. I went to a nice elementary school. As a single parent, I feel like in my heart that my mom did everything that she could financially to make sure that we had things. I will say we had good Christmases. We were bought school clothes when it was time for school. We ate good meals, and she worked hard. Okay? From time to time, there would be every so often, being young, she might have dated here and dated there. So every so often we would see a person that would come through. Hey, how you doing? All right. I don't know how long you gonna last, but what's up? Not saying that she got around or anything, but just being young is what she did. She had a really, really good friend of hers that was always close. She was like my auntie. I still love her to this day. And now we're going to break down the siblings. Okay. My older sibling was the one that was always watching out when my mother went to work. It's my older sister. She always watched out for us. I had a younger brother as well. My older sister was very matured, very fast, early on in her mind. So she just always had like an adult mentality. I do feel like it was too much on her being too much on her, trying to kind of sort of like raise kids, and she's a kid herself. But she did. She watched out for us, and my mom went and got the bread, and it was what it was. You know what I'm saying? No, she was not underage taking care of us or anything like that. And my mom did what she had to do, but my mom had to get the coins. Okay, so that was understood. My sister's personality, she was very straight to the point. She spoke her mind. She's very very beautiful, sweet, brown skinned girl. Then there is my little brother. Always mischievous. He was cool. I loved him. A little bit too much playful sometimes. Get into trouble sometimes, which in the future would cost him a price to pay. But he paid that price. He paid his dues, and everything has been fine with him so far. Okay. He was very adventurous, like to just, get into adventure. But sometimes, he always he was very mischievous, like to get into a little trouble here and there. Okay. Then there was me, the middle child. Okay. Also, my little brother was also born with a small issue. It wasn't something too big, but he ended up having to have a prosthesis. So we were used to going to different places. My mother would take him to make sure that he was treated, basically meaning to make sure that he was fitted for new prosthesis. She did this faithfully, religiously. I remember that being done. And me, I remember that. So when it come down to me, I was the type of child, I was a little bit strange. I believe early on there was gay tendencies, when I was younger, but I was not aware of those. I was just being myself, ladies and gentlemen. And this is where I say that I believe it kind of sort of is like a spirit that comes along. I'm not, for those of you that are gay, I'm not trying to say you guys are evil and demons. I'm just saying that I believe homosexuality is a spirit. Okay, because when I was so younger, I did not know. You know what I'm saying? I just knew that I didn't even know that there was an attraction, because I couldn't really, I really couldn't tie it to anything, but I just knew that I didn't even know consciously that I felt a certain type of way, but I was feeling that way, okay? As a child, I was very, very artistic at a very, very young age. I was fascinated. It started with my fascination with cars, okay? Yes, automobiles, airbags, from that to trains, how trains ride on tracks, from that to airplanes, from airplanes to theme parks. When my mom started taking us to theme parks, I grew fascinated with roller coasters and architecture and theming and storylines and adventure. And it was seen early on. I remember building Splash Mountain out of McDonald's toys and board games. You know what I'm saying? I remember doing all kinds of different things to simulate theme park rides. I was just very fascinated with theme parks, and I still am to this day, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? I just want you guys to get it from the beginning. This is the beginning. Okay. Throughout my childhood, as my mom raised us as a single parent in a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment in a decent neighborhood, we encountered all different nationalities, all different people from all different backgrounds. It was a very safe neighborhood. A very good neighborhood to raise your children in. There was things that we could do. Go pick oranges. There was orange trees, tangerine trees, all kinds of different trees. There was different events that were going. There would be different festivals. Everybody, back then, board games were a thing. Nintendo was a thing. Sega Genesis was a thing. You know what I'm saying? Childhood memories were, something that you could look forward to being raised in the neighborhood. Having our first dogs. From that to going down to these big dark alleys and hurrying up and racing our bicycles out of there. We saw the big dark man or just anything. You know what I'm saying? Just childhood memories that comes along the way, you guys. Okay, dating back from that, okay? Now, when it came down to my mom, I feel like throughout frustrations, honestly, she, when we would do certain things wrong, we would be disciplined. How I felt about the discipline was the way I feel is that physically, the discipline was to the extreme. I don't know if maybe because I'm assuming that because she was a single parent and all the stress was on her. Fathers was deadbeats. The only person that really had a decent father was my younger brother, the one with the prosthesis. His father would go all out, but he also still had some kind of physically, I'm sorry, not that, some kind of, he could be a little abusive. Let's just keep it real. But I do feel like we were disciplined when we were younger, and physically, certain things that occurred just should not have happened. It was borderline abuse. Physically, I do feel like, my mother would say that was, she's chastising us and she's doing this and she's doing that. But a lot of things that we experience, it just should not have been experienced. Also, when I was younger, there was something that I came encounter with. I would never forget. I was in elementary school, of course. I came home. I went in my mom's room. She wasn't there. There's a book by Mary Kay Baxter called A Divine Revelation of Hell. And I ended up reading that book. I didn't really understand it, but what this book was about was a lady that had her testimony of going into hell. And she experienced all these things. She talks about demons. And I remember seeing this book. And let me tell you guys something, which I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys in this right now, because I don't want to forget in the upcoming videos and be like, oh, I forgot to go back to that. So if it's certain things, just, okay. When I got older in high school, which these stories are to come in the next chapters, I encountered that same book. You see what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? God do everything for a reason. There was a reason for me to encounter that book, because God wanted me to know. It's right then and there, he was trying to get me introduced into the spiritual, okay? The book scared me when I read it when I was in elementary school. I dropped it in my mom's room, and I said I would never pick it up and read it again, okay? Life went on, and, we went through our childhood, and, those were the good days, though. Those were the good days when you can go to a playground, slide down a slide. You had a really wonderful day. Birthday parties were really birthday parties. You made friends with your neighbors, childhood friends. Going swimming was a thing. All these things that the kids of today, in today's society, don't really care too much for doing, because they're too busy being in their phones and paying close attention to what's going on in the world through their phones and social media and all that crazy shit. Okay? So, I'm kind of glad that I was able to get that out. Okay? Chapter 1. Chapter 1, I got it out. Okay. Okay, because I know it's a lot. Okay. So, yeah, that was pretty much it. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to make sure that I don't leave anything out. Hold on one sec. Little warm. Okay. That's what happened. Let me make sure. Yep. Okay. It's on to chapter 2, ladies and gentlemen. on to chapter 2.